the form of words used by the heralds in former times. But in these and other things, and indeed the greater part of his administration, he was directed not so much by his own judgment, as by the influence of his wives and freed men, from the most part acting in conformity to what their interests or fancies dictated. He was twice married at the very early age, first to Aemilia Lepida, the granddaughter of Augustus, and afterwards to Livia Medulina, who had the cognomen of Camilla, and was descended from the old dictator Camillus. The former he divorced while still a virgin, because her parents had incurred the displeasure of Augustus, and he lost the latter by sickness on the day fixed for their nuptials. He next married Plotia Urgulanilla, whose father had enjoyed the honour of a triumph, and soon afterwards Aelia Paetina, the daughter of a man of consular rank, but he divorced them both, Paetina upon some trifling cause of disgust, and Urgulanilla for scandalous lewdness, and the suspicion of murder. After them he took in marriage Valeria Messalina, the daughter of Barbatus Messallana, his cousin, but finding that besides her other shameful debaucheries, she had even gone so far as to marrying in his own absence Caius Silius, the settlement of her dower being formally signed in the presence of augurs, he put her to death. Then summoning his praetorians to his presence, he made them this declaration: "As I have been so unhappy in my unions, I am resolved to continue in future unmarried, and if I should not, I give you leave to stab me." He was, however, unable to persist in this resolution, for he began immediately to think of another wife, and even of taking back Paetina, whom he had formerly divorced. He thought also of Lolia Paulia, who had been married to Caius Caesar, but being ensnared by the arts of Agrippina, the daughter of his brother Germanicus, who took advantage of the kisses and endearments which their near relationship admitted to inflame his desires, he got someone to propose at the next meeting of the Senate that they should oblige the emperor to marry Agrippina, as a measure highly conducive to the public interest, and that in future liberty should be given for such marriages, which until that time had been considered incestuous. In less than 24 hours after this, he married her. No person was found, however, to follow the example, excepting one freedman, and a centurion of the first rank, at the solemnization of whose nuptials both he and Agrippina attended. He had children by 3 of his wives, by Urgulanilla, Drusus and Claudia, by Paetina, Antonia, and by Messalinia, Octavia, and also a son, whom at first he called Germanicus, but afterwards Britannicus. He lost Drusus at Pompey when he was very young, he being choked with a pear, which in his play he tossed into the air and caught in his mouth. And a few days before he had betrothed him to one of Sejanus's daughters, and I am therefore surprised that some authors should say he lost his life by treachery of Sejanus. Claudia, who was in truth the daughter of Bota, his freed man, though she was born 5 months before his divorce, he ordered to be thrown naked at her mother's door. He married Antonia to Cnaeus Pompey the Great, and afterwards to Fastus Scylla, both youths of very noble parentage. Octavia to his stepson Nero, and after she had been contracted to Silanus. Britannicus was born upon the 12th day of his reign, and in his second consulship. He often earnestly commended him to the soldiers, holding him in his arms before their ranks, and would likewise show him to the people in the theatre, setting him upon his lap, or holding him out whilst he was still very young, and was sure to receive their acclamations and good wishes on his behalf. Of his sons-in-law, he adopted Nero. He not only dismissed from his favour both Pompey and Silanus, but put them to death. End of Claudius, Part 2. Recording by Alan Steely, Bristol, UK.